Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. What an absolutely gorgeous morning it is. It's just so mild and warm, absolutely beautiful blue skies. What I can't wait for is for all these trees to fill up with their leaves. It is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't seen it and you're new, you can go back to some of the really earlier Coffee Chats there and you can take a look and see just how full up it gets in there when the leaves are on, and it is really something else. Well, something right off the top, guys, that I want to mention is that I have actually gotten a few people that have written me and said, hey, David, I wasn't getting your responses. And then when they had checked their spam box, well, lo and behold, there they were. So if you've written me either to like David at thedigitaloutlook.com or coaching at thedigitaloutlook.com, normally I respond to those within about 24 hours. Just check your spam box. You might find it in there because that's where some folks have found it. And then, you can respond back to me or what. So that would be great. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, the article I was reading this morning absolutely had my blood practically boiling. This article is about Elizabeth Warren and her AML reintroduction of this AML bill to go after DeFi and DAOs. Now, the thing that really takes the cake when it comes to this is, of course, that whole narrative that has been going on for over a decade that, oh, cryptocurrency and digital assets, they're just used for drug dealers and, money launderers and terrorists and on and on and on. And how we need to go out there and protect the retail investor and do this and do that and what, and not fund terrorism because, that's what all these digital assets are. Well, that narrative is just a load of poppycock. The truth is, when you see who the major investors are in Bitcoin and all kinds of other major digital assets, do you know what, guys? It's more institutions than it is retail. That is a fact. Now, having said that, let's address this whole funding of terrorism. Do you know what the most preferred method, and you can fact check this, you can Google this, the most preferred method for terrorist funding? It's the US dollar. It has nothing to do with cryptocurrency, and by far. And let's ask another question. Where was the single greatest payment in US dollars cash to fund terrorist activity? Who was it? Who did it? Well, guys, it was the American government, and it was under Obama. They literally flew over a plane load, multiple plane loads of hard cash and gave it over there to Iran. And we're talking about some serious bucks, billions of dollars that they did it. And it was on Obama's watch, Biden's watch, and by the way, Warren's watch. And those guys were out there. What a load of hypocrisy. And the truth of the matter is, this has absolutely zero to do with protecting retail investors or counteracting terrorism. That is a load of garbage. You know what this is all about, guys? You can kind of see through their paper-thin veil, because what this is really all about, in my opinion, and I'm telling you, I think a lot of people are going to share this, this is about protecting the establishment. This is about ensuring that those that are in power stay in power. Those that have influence, keep the influence. Because the reality is, guys, are they going after JP Morgan coin? No, they're not. Why didn't they ever go after the FTT token with FTX? Never even looked at it. And yet SBF was in there schmoozing with, with Gary Gensler. And on top of that, Elizabeth Warren, she was actually, almost blowing the guy kisses. In fact, I think she did. But needless to say, it's absolutely ridiculous when they come out with this kind of narrative, because the truth is, this is about protecting the establishment and making sure that, all of these other, platforms get deplatformed, so all the big institutions and the infrastructure that's out there in place can absolutely take over the space, because they know very well distributed ledger technology is going to change the world. It's already changing the world. And even in the United States, with the issuance of a central bank digital currency that they know is coming, let's be honest with one another at least and say you can see how the future is totally unfolding. And this is about just making sure that all the chess pieces are in place so that these powers that be can control what's already going on. And think of this, guys. When they're talking about anti-money laundering, and look, I have no issue with KYC. I KYC for almost everything. And I actually have no issue with genuine AML type of regulations that are truly going to attack, you know, this kind of, you know, money laundering and terrorist funding and all that kind of stuff. No issue with that at all. What I have an issue with is the guise at which they're putting out this legislation, because it's really, that is really not the motivation whatsoever. This is about attacking the industry in a way that protects the establishment. That is for sure. And I want to caution you on something with the AML. When it comes to AML, you know, mark my words, if after they get this, if they get this thing through the way it's in right now, self-custody is going to be the next thing they're going to go after, guys. They're going to go after self-custody because, of course, they cannot seize your digital assets when it's under self-custody. They cannot control how much you send and where you send it and how you send it when it's under self-custody. Because, look, we can take our ledgers right now. If we wanted to send $100,000, you know, overseas or to whomever we want around the world, we could literally do it in seconds utilizing XRP, XML, or, you know, or XLM, sorry, I'm tired. But all of that, you know, we could use our digital assets to do that. But the reality is they don't want us to have that kind of jurisdiction over our financial lives or have that kind of custody over these things. So watch and see if there's not some sort of talk coming out about self-custody and how that needs to be regulated, because, you know, there's too many nefarious people out there using self-custody for, you guessed it, terrorist funding, money laundering, drug dealing, all the bad old stuff that they always have dragged out in the past, when we know most of it is about just us wanting to protect our own assets and have some kind of jurisdiction over that so that it can't be scammed, hacked, or whatever. And with that, you're going to see that they're going to start, you know, supporting institutional custody. And hey, you know, we can actually take care of it for you. You don't have to worry about it. It's going to be there for you, and on and on. Makes you kind of feel like a kindergartner, you know, when you get a gift from your grandparents of cash and your parents say, okay, sweetheart, we're going to just hold on to it for you. Because, of course, a kid, right? You know, they might lose it. They might, you know, do whatever. Dog may eat it or what. So, you know, parent takes it, puts it in a piggy bank or whatever. Well, that's what these guys are going to actually like. It's like they want to treat us like we're children, and we need our big brother, the government, out there to make decisions for us, because you know that we're just too uneducated and not at a level where we could be accredited and validated as being, you know, competent enough to actually take care of our own money. Come on, guys. These people have absolute entitlement. And as far as I'm concerned, Elizabeth Warren has gone out there and she has literally betrayed her oath of office when she colluded with Gary Gensler over that whole oversight thing and the questions in Congress. And as far as I'm concerned, that woman needs to be run out on a rail. And by the way, I wouldn't care if it was a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or whatever. Anybody that would stoop to those levels does not deserve to hold the office that they've been entrusted with and elected to actually represent people and that type of thing. And she betrayed it, and as far as I'm concerned, that is it. She should have been booted out on her hiney. But of course, you know, we're not going to have that because all of this is going on. They've all done it and they're all doing it. What we're getting here, guys, is an absolute dog and pony show, if ever there was one. And don't kid yourself. They have all these high-minded moral standards up there, and they're the biggest hypocrites there are. Can you imagine how many American soldiers lost their lives due to the frickin' funding that went down there with those plane loads of cash into those terrorist hands? Just think of that. Man, I would not want to have that on my conscience. But that's the way it is, guys. It is one rule for them, a different rule for everybody else. And we're going to pad our positions over here and just make sure that you guys don't get to a place where you may even be able to compete with our level of authority and influence. And that's what's really going on, in my opinion. Now, guys, having said that, you know, hey, there's a time for war and there's a time for peace, right? So, you know what? It's good to actually let yourself get a little angry about stuff, but it's not good to let that anger start controlling you, right? We control the emotions don't control us. And so for me, hey, anger and getting upset over things when you see flat out hypocrisy like that, that's not a bad deal. In fact, we were encouraged at a time to be able to speak out and call that stuff out for what it is and let these elected officials give an account. That is what this democracy really had represented. Well, nowadays it's like they want to shut you up, shut you down, cut you off, and deplatform you because, you know, you're going to go out there and call a spade a spade. Hey, let the chips fall where they may. That's what I say. It's okay to get out there. That is what critical thinking, that is what debate is truly all about. We need more of it. That is my opinion, absolutely, for sure. Anyway, guys, it is a gorgeous day out here, and I sure hope that you're having a fantastic day, whatever you are. And today, the wind is not howling, whistling, or blowing, and so I sure hope to get out there and do a fantastic walk and talk about all the things we like about this space and distributed ledger technology. I got a great video plan for us later today, and until then, guys, take care.